Welcome to Beyond the Business Card podcast.
COVID was a big hit, especially for our industry. At the end of the day, maybe the media part of it was not switched off completely, but the events part of it was switched off more than completely. We found ourselves watching hours and hours of Netflix, which is definitely not me.
Today, I sit down with Mohammed Tayem, founder and CEO of Entourage, one of the Middle East's leading 360 marketing and events agencies. Mohammed's journey began with a bold risk, launching Entourage during the 2008 financial crisis, when most businesses were shutting down. With no safety net, he bet on his ability to deliver world-class campaigns at a fraction of the cost of global agencies. And it worked. From landing Google as a client in 2011 to securing government projects across the region, Entourage has grown into a powerhouse with offices in Dubai, Riyadh, Cairo, and even a creative studio in Milan. But the road wasn't always smooth. During the pandemic, Mohammed made a daring pivot into virtual events, scaling his business when others struggled to survive. Now, with his eyes set on bigger ambitions, Mohammed is leading Entourage into a new era of nation branding, high-profile government projects, and one day, maybe even the 2034 FIFA World Cup opening ceremony. This is a story of resilience, reinvention, and relentless ambition. Let's get into it. Mohammed, welcome to the show today.
Very good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So I'm fascinated to understand the story behind the entrepreneur. So if you don't mind starting, could you just tell us a bit about your journey to Dubai and just what led you here in the first place?
What would you like to know? From where should we start?
Well, honestly, I think one of the foundation stories, certainly for me, for example, I've always felt that I've been very motivated to start a business, and it goes way back from being a child and what happened at home, etc. So I'm very interested to find out what led you to Dubai. And so your origin story is of great fascination to me.
It's a very interesting question to go back into the beginnings of how we started. I came to Dubai as a normal, as someone who was running away from a limited wages, if I may say, or a limited salary, who cannot afford to finish the month with. Was hoping to find my dream job as an employee. I came to work for a couple of companies here before the financial crisis. Moved from telecom into real estate when the previous real estate boom was taking place here in Dubai. Worked for one of the giants of the real estate companies for a couple of years. Then, boom, the financial crisis hit in 2008 and we found ourselves jobless. Honestly, it wasn't a pleasant period of time. It was super tough. Recruitment was, I'm sure you remember, recruitment was on the disastering mood where people cannot afford or cannot find a proper job, title, salary, place to continue. It was worldwide crisis. From there, after 6 months of smoking shisha every day, a couple of times, thinking of what to do next, I decided to open my own business. Nothing to lose. At the end of the day, the market was super down and there was no employment opportunities, let me put it this way. So I decided to open something I enjoy doing, I'm passionate about, and something I think that I can excel in. Started Entourage on a very, very, very small scale. Myself and one employee, 2 employees, a very small, tiny office in Al-Attar Business Tower on Sheikh Zayed Road. I picked that place because there was a coffee shop called Shakespeare. I used to smoke my shisha there every day, so I said it's closer to a shisha. So yeah, we started from there. With a business plan or a promise that most of the international companies now, in that period of time, cannot afford to work with international agencies simply because, as you know, marketing always is the first budget to cut. So we said, I'm sure we will be able to find our way within this sphere to offer the same services of international agencies at a lower cost. And we did it. The first contract, we replaced one of the international agencies who used to take 250,000 dirham of a retainer. We replaced them with 25,000 dirham monthly retainer. But yeah, it was the start. At the end of the day, it wasn't covering definitely the cost, but the brand and the brand name definitely worth putting on the portfolio. It will open up a lot for us, for Entourage, as a service provider. We worked with them on advertising. We worked with them on ATL, BTL, heavy work. Our cost was around 75 to 80,000. So I was paying from my own pocket around 50,000 dirham, but it was a good start. Opened a lot of clients after that.
Gotcha. Well, thanks very much for sharing that. There's quite a lot there that you've just talked about, which I want to unpack. Okay, please. Because you've a lot of things that you've said so easily, and perhaps you underestimate what you've just said, because
not at all. But sorry, not at all. But at the end of the day, when you talk about history, you don't mention the pain around this history.
Yeah.
You don't mention the milestone around this history. It's a history at the end. But definitely we did not reach into this account easily. It took us a lot of time to reach into that account. It took us a lot of ups and downs to reach into here and meet you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, let me tell you a bit about my story actually to Dubai. I came out here in 2008, and I was working in London, and London at the time, Lehman Brothers had collapsed. I was working in the city of London, and obviously Lehman had collapsed. I was working in recruitment. My business was in digital. I was working in digital recruitment. Actually, it was fairly bulletproof. It was doing quite well. But around me were all these headhunters working in the financial services sector who'd gone from earning these huge bonuses and moving hedge fund managers for millions of dollars to all of a sudden their business book collapsed overnight. So I got a call from a recruitment company. Yes, the recruiter gets a call from a recruitment company to headhunt him about coming out to Dubai. And I was told that this is the land of forever moving cranes. So I came out when you were still in real estate, by the sounds of it, right? And it was crazy town for about 2-3 weeks when I came out. I remember opening up a bank account and the bank saying, here's well done. Here's a massive loan that we're going to give you, no questions asked, and I recommend you put a deposit.
$2 million card.
I was like, "What is this place? This is crazy." And of course, the house of cards came falling down. But I ended up staying here because I paid 1 year in advance for an apartment. Because it was a supply demand then in those days was crazy. So, didn't want to go back to London because the weather was terrible, and the crisis there was really bad. The weather here was better, and I thought if I stick it out, there might be some opportunity.
Yeah.
So I ended up opening my business just from sticking it out because of that apartment. You opened up your business by the sounds of it because you saw there was an opportunity, and you thought, what's there to lose by opening this up? And I think a lot of businesses, even in those times of adversity, really sort of some entrepreneurs decide to go for it, right?
Correct. Because at the end of the day, if you believe in what you have in around you, if you believe in as well what you have in mind, if you believe in your business plan, at the end of the day, if the circumstances let you, definitely it will work. But I saw Dubai when it was building up. I saw the infrastructure. I saw a place will never fall. At the end of the day, it might go through some ups and downs, but the infrastructure which was put in this city will not let it fall, inshallah.
But you clearly have a very strong appetite for risk, because there's not many people like you. Upsticked from Jordan, you moved to Dubai because you felt there was better opportunity. Then in a crisis, you think rather than go back home or look for stability, you go, you know what, I'm going to go and open a business. I mean, where does this risk appetite come from?
To put the cherry on top, I opened another business in the middle of the corona as well. So yeah, honestly, I have no answer for that, but I believe always high risks, high opportunities, high returns. This is what we learned from very early days. I believe it worked. At the end of the day, I looked at the financial crisis as an opportunity because, as I told you, at the end of the day, I cannot compete international agencies if I want to open a small boutique agency. I would keep myself in the position of a small boutique agency. But the time came perfectly to my favor, that if I build up something strong now and I make it a little bit stronger quickly in couple of years, I might be able to compete with the big players. And this is what happened. By 2014, I won the Egypt tourism account from an international group of media for both creative and media planning and buying. I went into big war with them, but at the end of the day, I managed to win the account. I worked on the account for 2-3 years. After that, we took a few other big accounts on a regional level. Never worked global because I'm not a global agency, or Entourage, I mean, is not a global agency. But today, do we have a strong position within the region? Yes, we do. Are we competing with the big players of the world? Proudly, yes.
Okay. So it's you and someone else. When you started the business?
No, myself.
Just all you said. What cap did you bootstrap it?
Honestly, it was the right time. It was a perfect opportunity where people, we started with 2-3 employees at a very low salaries, if I may say. We were all under the impression or under the circumstances where we need just to cover our cost.
Yeah.
So covering a cost at the end of the day, it will not cost you a fortune.
Yeah.
So this is how we started until we started getting revenues. Then we talked about better salaries, better range of employment.
So you started. It sounds like a very sort of humble beginnings, where you started incredibly scrappy. Went in there. Forgive me if I'm wrong here, but this is for one of my take on it. You went in there to establish Entourage as a brand, try and get any business you could. Yes, at a lower price, but just to get your foot in the door.
Absolutely right.
And then once in, you opened up the business.
Absolutely right. 2011, we received an email on the info account from Google.
Wow.
It was definitely a fraud. I did not take it other than a spam. No way on earth to receive an email from Google in that time, 2011. Who is Entourage in 2011 to receive an email from Google? You're talking about Google by 2011. It was still, but it was, I would say, the only internet giant in the world. Then they followed up by another email. Why you did not reply? What's wrong? It's not a spam, so we replied. It ended up, it's Google. They're looking for a small agency. They don't want to spend a lot of money on big international agency. That proved that the strategy worked. So basically, even giant companies, they were at that period of time looking for, I would say, small agencies, small boutique agencies. I think our relation with Google proved to myself, at least, that maybe I stepped into this business or taking this business opportunity in the right time, and it was right.
Gotcha. And what was, obviously, you can tell us what Entourage is like today, but back then, obviously, when the market the way it was, what was your USP? Like, what was the niche that you were going to get? What was your identity as a business?
We positioned Entourage at the very beginning when we started as a live communication agency. There was very little agencies who speaks to the brand from pure communication without forcing a service into the brand. As you know, you're in this market for as long as I am. Most of the businesses within this region, they think financial, they think commercial. We thought, why don't we think brand? Why don't we think services? Then the commercial will come, the profit will come by default. So we thought, as myself and the team, let's focus on giving the brand what they require instead of forcing a service into it. So if your brand does require PR only, I will not force you or advise you to spend $1 trillion on advertising on outdoor while you just need a press release. Well, I think this was the USP. This was the selling point of Entourage. This is what made Entourage gain the trust of some clients. We did not enforce a service to make money. We made money out of the services which we are offering. I remember 2014, we pitched an idea for Mohammed bin Rashid Foundation for Knowledge. They wanted to participate in a project where they can position themselves as the knowledge center of UAE. We suggested an idea of why don't we build a conference talking about the knowledge or make it a stage, world stage, in a couple of years for everyone from around the world who's interested in knowledge to come and be under your umbrella. They liked the idea. They pitched it in to the leaders. They got the blessings. we spoke to them about how can we build a brand, how can we strategically build the conference, how can we put this conference into the world map in 3 years. We mentioned bringing United Nations, etc., sponsors, etc., in order to build the right program and to build the right agenda. Then we suggested as well having an award, a global award by the name of His Highness, for the people who are or who did something worth taking an award from the knowledge perspective. We suggested the internet creator. We suggested as well the first edition, the Wikipedia founder. And we both of them accepted coming. Both of them attended the conference. Both of them were honored by His Highness. The second year we spoke about robotic, etc. So what I'm trying to say that we started from being consultants and advisors for clients with the service they require. We ended up today proper consultants. We do consultation to our clients from brand perspective. What does your brand requires? How can we take your brand into the next level? How can we put you on the global map? How can we put, and this is what we're doing today on, I don't want to say daily basis, but this is what we're doing for our clients across the region. As you know, Dubai today, Entourage today is operating as the headquarters here from Dubai, but we have Khobar office, we have Riyadh office, Cairo office. And this year I went super crazy and we opened a creative studio in Milan in order to activate more creative ideas and to offer more creative ideas to our clients. So today the portfolio of clients varies from giants into large and I would say some medium corporate accounts.
Got you. And what was the time? So I suppose there's a time in an entrepreneur's life where they go, all right, I think we're onto something here. I think, I'm not worrying about all the typical sort of startup early stage concerns. I think where people are buying into this concept, we're all right, we're off. What was your hallelujah moment?
2012 was my weakness moment. 2015, I believe it was my strength as Mohammed and Entourage. When we won the Egypt government account, it was my...
What year was that?
2015. 2014, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That was the year when you opened champagne in the middle of Sheikh Zayed Road. you know this moment. At the end of the day, it was a super big account. You're not promoting a brand anymore. You are not worried about branding and promoting an FMCG account or just an auto brand. You are here promoting a country which is going out from a revolution, political revolution. Here you're talking strategy. Here you're talking international level. Here you're talking government level. You're talking economics. You're talking planning. You're talking meetings with the Prime Minister of Egypt and the Minister of Tourism for hours and hours to put the right plan, the right roadmap into the country. Then launching the campaign, working on daily basis with the government entities to make sure that this brand is being positioned, delivering. We need you, Mr. Minister, in this press conference. I need you to be with me on this conference, etc. So that was the year 2014, 15, and 16. 3 years continuously. I was spending time in Cairo more than at home. Just to make sure that this account was worked perfectly. From there, we started our government relation.
Okay, and that opened up a whole new part of the business where you moved into nation building and government.
Absolutely. This led. Before that, we had a small execution on Southern Sudan independence.
Oh wow!
Don't ask me how or why, but I can't remember how did we do it.
Yeah.
When Southern Sudan decided to be independent, they called us from Dubai to fly. I don't know to where, to Ethiopia. From Ethiopia, they took the team on. I don't know how, but we reached somewhere into the middle of nowhere, and we We did the independence ceremony for the Southern Sudan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a super challenging, but it went viral. It was, I believe that was our first political, if I may say, and governmental execution. Then we started with Egypt, then government summit, then
Gotcha.
the journey continued.
Continue from there on in. So, obviously, with a key part of your business being in the events space, there's there's something that wasn't so easy that's coming down the track, and that was the coronavirus pandemic that hit in 2020. So, I'm quite fascinated to hear how you went into that and how you came out the other side as a business.
Do you know the feeling when you are watching a TV and someone pulled up pull the power off, switched the power off? That exactly was. Yani, 2019 was super shining year. We were super ready for 2020. Ahlan 2020. I made a global meeting workshop for my team. We came up with a slogan, Ahlan 2020. We were super ready for 2020. Big plans, huge plans. We were super excited for the year. Then the power got disconnected. So COVID was a big hit, especially for our industry. At the end of the day, maybe the media part of it was not switched off completely, but the events part of it was switched off more than completely. We found ourselves watching hours and hours of Netflix. Which is definitely not me. So in order to cope up, or in order to keep my team or to keep the ball rolling, as I said at the beginning, immediately I thought of what should we do. We came up with the team with an idea of turning the physical events experience into virtual experience. So we created two businesses. The first business was Eve Virtual. Eve, I believe, was the reason behind us going through the pandemic safely. It saved us. We developed a platform, 3D, full metaverse experience for the people to go on the app and create their event from virtual experience. As if it is a real physical experience. We connected the app with an e-commerce platform. We connected the app with Talabat. We connected the app with Hunger Station in Saudi, with so many APIs to make sure that you live the experience. So while you are in the app, after building your avatar and you go inside the networking area or whatever the areas within the event, if you want coffee, you would order coffee and it will deliver to your place from the app, etc. Then we went further into an exhibition space within the event as the normal event like Gitex, etc. And you speak to exhibitors. We took it a little bit further into an e-commerce platform where you can see or watch their catalog or go through the shopping of the catalog, or even we connected it into the e-commerce where you can order, buy, etc. It was one of the most successful journeys, 2 years of being a tech person. I loved it. I loved the tech business big time. It was super interesting, super exciting. While everyone was shutting down, I was the craziest in Dubai who's recruiting. We recruited a lot of people to work on the platform. The platform went into a lot of countries. So many clients used it. It made us some good money to survive the COVID. That was one of the businesses. Another failure business, if you want to talk about failure, in the middle of COVID as well, I saw everyone going into e-commerce. So I thought that I'm Jeff Bezos. So I decided to compete Jeff Bezos 100%. So I opened a company called Wiz Shops. Wiz Shops is... Honestly, I still believe it was a strong idea. it's an e-commerce platform for entrepreneurs, for small and small businesses who wants to go online. Everyone went online in the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was using Shopify.
Yep.
But Shopify is a platform where it makes you build your website only. So I decided to take Shopify model and do Shopify plus, which we called it With Shops. With Shops, it helps you, or it allows you to build your website, and this website connects into delivery service, payment collection service, payment gateway service, storage service, etc. So all these micro businesses who are selling on Instagram cannot afford, we give them the opportunity to build a proper store with a proper connection to deliver empowerment, to deliver, to collect payments, to store, to package, to have the whole setup. I believe we were late in launch. That's why I believe the business failed. But as an idea, we went into pre-seeding, and we raised $2 million in almost no time.
Okay.
Because the idea was everyone believed in it. But maybe the launching it late made it fail.
Okay. Interesting. Also, a bit of a curveball from what you normally do as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, your time was probably taken with keeping the business together, running your other business. But I mean, sounds like you had quite a few things going on at the same time. I think someone once told me that there's a lot of great ideas out in the world. It's how you execute them.
100%.
And I think it sounds like the execution part was something that perhaps you struggled with on this
project.
business.
It's specific, 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Execution from delivery perspective. We recruited a team in order to deliver within this period of time. They failed to deliver, so we had to rebuild the full structure from scratch. It took more time. They did not as well manage to make it work. Then until the third team came on board and made it work, everyone would have had their own store at that time. So migrating from store to another store provider was not that easy. That's why we couldn't manage to make the business succeed.
Gotcha. See, but there's this risk appetite that you've got again. Here it comes again. You know, it's how you started the business. You go into COVID. Sounds like you went into COVID. You were worried the business was going to collapse. You come out the COVID with more staff than you went into it.
Correct.
I mean, that's some might say that's quite crazy.
It is crazy. Absolutely, it is crazy. But at the end of the day, without risks, you will not be reaching anywhere.
Yeah. Understood. And is that's what's led you to sort of expand the business across the region then? And I'm intrigued about this Italian adventure as well. So just talk to me about that.
Honestly, the Italian adventure is just to make sure that I am supporting my creative team who works on great ideas here for the region and for the regional clients, to give them more international touch into the clients. But talking about Entourage and after the crisis, I believe after the COVID, I believe the market appetite allowed us as well to take these risks, allowed us to expand, allowed us to be within the region, within the expand of couple of countries, not only operating in UAE. Saudi today is our biggest market, definitely same as any other agency in the region. Saudi today has growth unseen before. This growth on all sectors. Who I believe the corporate events sector, the entertainment sector, which we're not into, but I mean the corporate events sector today, and the media, the advertising sector as well, is having a huge appetite from both private sector and governmental sector in Saudi.
Yeah, I think sounds like that experience you had in Egypt has probably served you pretty well out in Saudi as well, with a lot of the drive coming from government for Vision 2030.
Absolutely. Saudi today, they are like a workshop, 24 hours working to make sure that 2030 vision is being achieved. I believe they are on the right track today. 24 was one of the biggest years for Saudi, 5-6 years after the vision launch. This year, they announced Next week they will announce, hopefully, winning the bid for the FIFA, the World Cup, the Expo. They just launched the Metro. So super mega projects are being landing into the country. With that, I believe we still see big opportunities every day.
Yeah. So we've talked about quite some of the successes you've had, the tough experiences you've had, but I'd like to just unpick if you could tell me, because I'm listening to what you're saying there, and I'm thinking about your business, thinking, gosh, that is the amount of money you must have to spend on these events, the amount of money for bringing in staff, the amount of your business must contract and expand, how seasonal your business must be. I imagine keeping the ship running with cash flow in the early days and up until now, that must be a real challenge. How do you stay so calm?
Smoking shisha every day. Honestly, no, I'm not calm. And stress is on the highest, especially within the season. But at the end of the day, 15 years of experience makes you train your brain into something, for sure. But yes, you are right, absolutely. Having management skills, having team cash flow management, not only cash flow management. Yani, I mean, when you work on mega projects, it's not easy to pull out yourself from it 100%. Yani, at the end of the day, there will be a lot of challenges on the way, especially our region. Missing the part of the word called timeline or time frame. They want everything tomorrow. So managing everything by tomorrow within the resources you have, within as well the financial resources you might be surrounding yourself with, from liabilities and etc. It's not something on ease, but at the end of the day, this is the business nature.
Okay. So if you were, if someone's listening to this and they're looking at opening a business up in the region, what's the one bit of advice you would give them?
Same business within the sector?
No, I think if there's an entrepreneur looking at the GCC right now and thinking that this is, they might have a successful business somewhere else and want to open up a branch, or they might see this as where the future of their business is. There's a lot of things people don't understand about the way business operates here. But having someone here with me that's grown a successful business in the region, what's the one bit of advice you would give to someone?
I always say, build a proper business plan to start with. With this business plan, you cannot build an optimistic business plan. You have to go as, you need to put the worst on your business plan in order for your business plan to succeed. Don't expect the flourish side of it from the first year.
Okay.
That's A. B, you need to understand the market. You need to understand the culture of the market. You need to understand the people, how they think, what do they want, and how you can deal with them. Yesterday, I was having a call with one of my team members. The end of year evaluation meetings. We were talking about the importance of communication and the importance of building the relation. This region is all about connections and relations. Yes, you might have the best technical proposal on earth. Yes, you might have the best ideas in the globe. But at the end of the day, if you don't know how to communicate it well, or if you don't know how to build the relation, have the eye blink, it will not be that easy to sell or to keep or to maintain. Maintaining a relation within this region, as any part of the world, maintaining the relation is more important than building the relation. Maintaining a business is more difficult than building a business. Anyone can build a business. If you have the know-how, if you have the money, etc., you can build the business. But maintaining the business is the toughest part. Maintaining the business at a certain level, like a brand, I think this is what makes the difference between entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I would say very much. And it's actually interesting that you've mentioned relationships there, because I've spoken to a number of entrepreneurs on the show, and also just in my time of, when you run a recruitment business, and particularly I've worked with a lot of founders and helped them bring in senior people into their business. They talk about their business and relationship and the values they hold in relationships with their clients is always something that comes up. It's not a, I think many other regions, it's very transactional. And I think here you have to
have the relation.
Exactly. You have to have relationships. And also you have to not try and make a fast buck out of everyone. Because if someone thinks you're always trying to take, they probably won't work with you. And I think that's where I've seen a lot of businesses crash and burn in this part of the world as well.
And I think this is one of the most important elements from the beginning of the Entourage journey, that personally, being on the chair of Entourage, never worked with a client for hit and run project. Never. Not interested whatsoever. Even if we will make a lot of money out of it, not interested. Because at the end of the day, this is called burning your brand slowly. Today, building Entourage as a brand, it wasn't that easy. Having Entourage as a brand today, we're very well known in the region for the quality which we deliver. I won't take this into any risk simply because it took me, or took us all as a team, 15 years. I still have team members with me since 2000, since the start.
Wow.
It wasn't easy to maintain them. It wasn't easy with them to reach into here. It was a very tough, long journey. Last year, we have the end of year presentation. Just a small calculations, we have done I would say millions of miles on flights between the world, all of us as a team. This is, if you think about it, not only financially, if you think about it, this is amount of hours and efforts far from your family, from your office, from your habits, from your daily routine. This is all counts. The team members today, they go into an execution of a project for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I understand it's interesting, it's exciting, but if you think about it, it's as well, it's on the expense of so many other elements, which is unseen.
Yeah, a lot of sacrifices are made. Yeah, I think that's a lot of things that people underestimate when they go before going into the journey of entrepreneurship and business building, and no doubt even just being an ambitious person and growing your career is. I don't know anyone that's successful that hasn't been one of the hardest working people in the room. Okay, and that's just a fact, and there is a sacrifice that you have to make there. So interested to hear you sort of talk about outside of work. I mean, I'm intrigued. What keeps you, obviously business is clearly a passion of yours.
Yeah.
But what, is there anything else outside of work that kind of you're focused on, you're passionate about? Is there any other interests you've got?
Definitely. Work.
It's true though. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I found myself living in a world where I only work. Honestly.
But why is that unfortunate? You said unfortunately.
Because it's at a certain point of time, when you look at it, you don't have anything to do in life but work.
But you love it, right?
I love it, definitely. I enjoy it. Not only love it, I enjoy it. I enjoy everything. I wait for 9 a.m. to be in the office. I wait for Saturday to finish to be in the office. Actually, Friday, because Saturday I'm in the office. But yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy it big time. I'm so passionate about what I'm doing. I'm so passionate about winning winning in exciting projects, winning a project which will make difference. You find me still, until now, on site, on execution level. Until now, I am on site with the team on the building up. On even before site, I go to the production facility to make sure that everything is going well. I get involved in so many details when it comes to execution, especially when it's an exciting project. This is how it's going. We have. I still go with my media team, with my PR team when they have an interview for someone, etc. So I am super excited about it.
And what do you think makes you continue to be as passionate and excited 15 years down the track? How have you managed to maintain that level of excitement?
Projects, exciting projects. Yani, I remember the moment we signed the World Government Summit. I cannot feel more proud in my life. Honestly, it's a nationwide project attended by everyone on earth, led by His Highness. When we got the G20 in the middle of the Corona, I cannot tell you my reaction. Yani, at the end of the day, these high adrenaline projects, which gets the adrenaline 300% higher, this is what makes you wait for.
Gotcha. So if you and I are going to be having a chat in 5 years' time, do you have an idea where you want to be as Mohammed and where Entourage wants to be?
Me as Mohammed, I would like in 5 years to step. I don't want to say a step down, but step aside. A step aside. To take a chairman role, where I will still be involved. But Entourage, definitely, I would like to be to organize the 2034 opening ceremony for the FIFA Saudi.
Wow. Okay, and that's a pure play ambition that you've got right now for the business. And well, that's a very exciting way to sort of wrap things up. I really wish you every success in that. It's been an absolute pleasure having you as a guest
pleasure.
Today.
Thank you for the time. It went super fast. I did not feel it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the interview today. If you really enjoy listening to all the entrepreneurs we're speaking to, then smash the subscribe button and I'll see you on the next show. Thanks a lot.